welcome back to my channel, She Says Happiness. I'm Mary Ellen and I've been away for a few days just enjoying the Christmas period, but I'm back in the sewing room I think for the first time since Christmas Eve, and yeah, it's a bit chaotic, I have to admit, because I just closed the door on it and forgot about it and thought I'll tidy it up after Christmas. But there's no point in tidying it because I'm midway through a project. So anyhow, I'm back. Hopefully you all had a wonderful Christmas, beautiful season. I think I really do tend to enjoy it quite a lot, and even more so this year with my little Henry, who is one. Yeah, just made it all the more magical, I reckon. So yeah, I'm back up. I've got an hour or so this evening and I'm just going to try and stitch up a little bit more of my Dewey dress and try to forget about the fact that the place is chaos and that I also have piles of ironing sitting over there, because obviously in my sewing space is where the ironing board exists. And I really ought to get a second one to encourage someone else to do the ironing now and again. So having a coffee is a luxury, having more than one coffee in a day. And in spite of it being evening, I'm fine with that. Coffee does not affect me nor my sleep, so I could actually drink coffee up until midnight easily and it still not affect my sleep. In fact, I remember many years ago when I lived on a lot more coffee than now when I was lecturing. I didn't really take proper breaks, like lunches and stuff didn't happen, but I would have had about 8 cups of coffee a day. And we're talking black, Americano, extra shots of espresso, and it never affected my sleep. And I do reckon that coffee did make me even more productive. So maybe I'm missing out on that at the moment. Or maybe I've just got older. It's also a possibility. So yes, I have this project which I already had cut out before Christmas, thinking, yeah, it'd be nice to get that finished, but reality, it was never going to happen. So I'm going to try and, you know, like turn off the areas in this room that are just creating a little bit of havoc. I like a clean space, I like a clear mind, but I also only have a short period of time, so I'm going to stitch and I'll tidy it up later on when Henry's asleep. So before I do, because I haven't done any sewing since Christmas Eve to show you, but I do have a little picture of Henry in his pyjamas that I made him, so I'll pop it in here so you can see them. Really brilliant pattern in terms of sizing. I already loved it in terms of the ease of stitching up and just the effort levels and stuff. It was brilliant. It's a pattern called Movie Night Pyjamas by Sew a Little Seam, I think, but I'll put it in the description box below, because just don't take my word for it. And I made Henry's size as in 12-month plus, and I have discovered in a lot of children's patterns that's just not sufficient for him because he's very tall. He's 2'8" already, so I always find that the legs tend to be very, very short and the arms tend to be quite long because he's longer in the leg than he is on top. But these just fitted like an absolute dream, and with the cuffs and the yoga band waistband, which is what I opted for. There was a couple of different options and there is an elastic one as well, but I went for the yoga band and they just fit like a little dream and they're really, really cute. So that was the last thing I think I shared with you before I disappeared for Christmas. Now, what I have been doing in the last couple of evenings is a little bit of knitting, and it's not finished because I've come upstairs and I thought I'm going to just stitch up this seam and I will have myself a lovely finished knitting project. But no, I'm not even going to try and look for my hand needles for sewing up my knits. It's just not going to happen. I'm sure there's a proper word for it and I just can't think of what they are at the moment because, yep, I'm only on coffee number 2 of the day. Can't wait for the day, I can just drink it and not think about it. But what I have been stitching in this lovely white, winter white wool is a little beret. So as you can see, it hasn't been stitched up yet, so that's why it's sitting a little bit untidy, but hopefully I'll get that done this evening. It's to go with a beautiful winter white coat that I have, and I just thought it would be nice to have a little hat to go with that and keep things light and neutral, which isn't like me at all, but hey. And then another thing I want to show you before I go and start stitching, and I am going to go and start stitching, is I got a little fabric delivery today and I thought I would show you guys what I got. It's only 2 fabrics, so it's not like a massive fabric haul, and not only is it only 2 fabrics, these fabrics were total bargains. So Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn offer fabrics at a very competitive rate, all year round. I find that they are probably one of the cheapest places to buy fabric online, and the quality is usually pretty consistent as well. I've only had an issue once, I think, but yeah, out of all the orders I've made, that's not a big deal. But they were having an incredible sale, I believe it's still on, and they had some viscose jerseys, and I do love a lovely wrap jersey dress, so I thought, well, you know, it's not going to do any harm to buy a couple. I really did think that the quality wasn't going to be great because the prices at which these were being offered were absurd. I think it cost about £8–9 for 3 meters of each of these. So what you're talking like £3 max per meter. So I got one with Valentine's Day in mind, and again this is to make one of my favourite ever patterns. Is so over at Georgie Dress, which is just a lovely faux wrap dress with a lovely A-line skirt. That's the option I choose anyhow. I think there's a half circle skirt as well, but that would look much better with heavier knit fabrics. So it's this gorgeous white with love hearts, and in the back of my head I'm thinking white and I do not go together. The fact that there's red on there might be okay. I tend to be clumsy, particularly on days when I wear light colours. So coffee tends to get spilt, for instance, and yeah, it's not very forgiving. So yeah, this is quite a nice fabric. It's nice and light, as you expect jersey to be when it's made from viscose. But it's a little bit, I mean, I don't think I'll be able to see through it when I have the fullness of maybe gathers or something like that. I might just stick a gathered skirt on. I think the A-line gets gathered anyhow. I made one less than a month ago, I should remember, but I don't. And the bodice is lined, so I won't have any issues with that. And I just thought that's just a nice print to have. And yeah, we'll see. It might not get made up into that. It may end up as a lovely pair of pyjamas or something instead, but it's just something for that time of the year that I thought would be nice to have in my stash. And then the other is this black floral. So it's floral stripes, little sunflowers, poppies, cornflowers, etc. I thought that was quite nice, and because it's black, actually there are no issues with the fabric. Doesn't need lined, wouldn't need to wear anything under it or anything like that. It's really nice quality. So I mean, we're talking, I think I paid about £16. And then there's postage, but the postage is very reasonable as well. It used to be more expensive actually to post to Northern Ireland, but I think it's all been brought into line recently. There are some fabric stores which seem to be like twice, sometimes more expensive just to post from the UK to Northern Ireland, even though Northern Ireland is still part of the UK, and there's absolutely no reason for that. I don't know why that is. You know, if I'm posting from here to England, Scotland, Wales, there is no difference. So I'm presuming there's no difference the other way around either. But hey, yeah, really good, really nice bargain. And you know, there's no harm in buying something now and again, even though I know I don't need any fabric and I really need to stop. And perhaps that'll be my New Year resolution, to put a limit on what I do buy on a monthly basis. Never been good at limits, but we'll see. Anyhow, I'm going to go and sew, and if I do get it finished this evening, I'll come back and I'll be able to show you. So let's see. Hi everyone. So I didn't get back into the sewing room on Friday night to film a vlog, although I did get the dress made. Didn't get back yesterday either. It's now Sunday. It is New Year's Eve. I can't believe it. I can't believe this year has gone. I spent the majority of this year on maternity leave and I loved every single minute of it. And even though it was busy, and a different kind of busy that I'd ever known before, I found it very rewarding and very fulfilling, and a part of me wishes I could do that all over again. Not that I will, because I would only want to do it all over again with my little Henry. I don't want to do it any other way. So before I chat to you about the dress that I was making, you'll see here, this is the Lima dress. Do you remember I was talking about the neckline and the red satin fabric having stretched out in some way? Because I've made this dress, now this is the 6th time I've made this dress. I've never had an issue with how it sits on the upper bust, and yet there's like this curvature, which is annoying me. But I'm going to wear it anyhow because I quite like it. I like the colours. I love the puff sleeves, which to me is the nicest feature of this dress and why I revisit it again and again and again. Yeah, I'm just going to wear it out today because it's New Year's Eve. Why not? And later on I will wear my Cashmerette Dewey dress in that vivid, for lack of a better word, that vivid magenta pink metallic jersey. I got it from Fabric Godmother a couple of years back, and I've just never sewn up with it because, you know, it's a kind of fabric that's not every day. I'm not going to wear it an awful lot whenever I turn it into a garment, and now that I have, I know I'll only wear it if I'm going out maybe for dinner or a cocktail or whatever. But yeah, it's nice. I will pop a couple of pictures in here so you can see it on. I almost had a moment of panic whenever I finished making it, and I was going to slip it on to the mannequin so I could show you in a vlog, and it was really, really tight on the mannequin here, and I thought, oh, this is never gonna fit me. Turns out it's fine. It's just the mannequin that was really tight on the arms and the upper around the shoulder. So the mannequin is obviously broader than I am, which is nice. And I can't really change that because I've set up the other measurements as my measurements. There's not much I can do about the shoulders and the arms that are created there. Perhaps I need a mimiquin. That's something I'm thinking about. And if you haven't heard of those, look them up. They're basically mannequins that are made, modelled to your specific measurements, but also to your body shape. I don't know how they do it. It's some kind of like laser technology or something, and then it's created off that. But yeah, definitely something I'm thinking about. It's just not being on the mainland. They're not all that accessible to me because they go to certain places and you can go and get your measurements and stuff done and have your body scanned done. But I'm still not at that stage where I'm popping onto flights and leaving Henry. It's just not something I'm ready to do. So anyhow, the dress is lovely. I will wear it this evening because if you can't dress up as a bright, quality, straight looking creature on New Year's Eve, when can you? And then I suppose when I come back, it'll be 2024, and hopefully I will have formulated some kind of plan for my sewing in the next year. This year was very haphazard for me because I sewed just when I got the opportunity, and I sewed usually things for convenience. I am making a resolution to only sew from my stash unless there is something I simply cannot resist. I will indulge in, well, 1 or 2 nice buys every month, but only if I'm going to stitch them up in that month. They're not going to be put into a stash because half of it is here, half of it is there. I also have a couple of large, like, what, 80-litre boxes or something filled with fabric. So I need to start working through a lot of that so it, you know, it doesn't become something I don't like anymore. And I think as well, another thing I'm going to do is cancel my subscription box to Sew Hayley Jane, because I was just going through my fabrics the other day and I think I've only sewn up one. Hello Oreo. I only sewn up one of those fabrics since I started subscribing a year ago. So that's wasteful. I don't love the fabrics enough to prioritize them, and that's kind of going to be my rule going forward. It has to be like an ultimate love. And I also want to try and sew mindfully, because this year I suppose I did sew mindfully. I was sewing with breastfeeding in mind for the majority of the year, and I made garments that would work for me in that regard. But now I want to think about putting everything together, not a capsule wardrobe as such, because yeah, no, they bore me. But yeah, just to try and make more basics, try to make more plains, not to always go for the outlandish prints or, you know, the crazy combinations. Yeah, just to try and, you know, for every, you know, out there thing I make, to make something that is very everyday as well, so that it's perfect for the workplace or for just going out with my little one, or, you know, just for the everyday. I've never been great at that, but I'll try to focus on that a little bit going forward. Anyhow, I'm going to wrap up there and head out for the rest of the day. I will be back in 2024. Have yourself a lovely New Year's, and I hope it's a great one for you. Take care. Bye.